As our coach said, it's going to be a dogfight, but we are ready for that. And it's 90 minutes. We need to give everything. So yeah, we need to be locked in.
At the end of the day, the fans would see it. We've been trying to represent them on the pitch, and we are going to give our 100% every single game for them. And
can't wait to get back and put on, the RSL jersey and in front of the fans that have been amazing support. Without them, without RSL, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So I'm extremely grateful and I'm excited.
What's up, RSL Nation?
Welcome to the Royal Riot.
Salvas gets it away. Catranes, the square ball. Diego Luna! It's Diego Luna now trying to turn. Luna! Oh, it's in! What a goal! A lot of space for Johnny Russell. Johnny Russell! His first start for Real Salt Lake. His first goal for Real Salt Lake. Magnificent from Real Salt Lake. And Noel Kaliskan with the best goal he's probably ever scored.
Oh, turns, overlap on the right side. Gonzalez! Yes!
Brian Ojeda. Here's a Ghana, third time. Is it a charm? Malagon! Luna! Yeah! Cabral has been insatiable in goal. Zuniga now! Cabral, the hero! Man! This guy's good! They have found a keeper in Salt Lake City!
If you're looking for the best clothing deals in Salt Lake County, one place stands out for the price, quality, and the selection, and that's Zalzo. Zalzo is your destination for up to 70% off premium and mid-luxury brands every single day. Tucked just off of 3900 South in Murray, Zalzo carries the brands you actually want to wear at the prices you're happy to pay. Run over to our store today and see for yourself the weekly updates to the always impressive and expansive inventory of both adult and children's clothing. While you're here, don't forget to check out the weekly markdown racks with even steeper deals. Stuck on a work call? Go to Zalzo.com. That's ZALLZO.com for information and a listing of in-store deals. Zalzo, you'll come in just to look, but we know you'll leave hooked.
Welcome back to another episode of Royal Riot. Hopefully this is better audio than the last two. We think we have the fix. If it's not fixed, David, you are just not going to release this. Nobody's going to hear this, all right? So when you go through, you need to be the first listener. And if it's bad, just delete it. I don't want anyone to hear it if it's bad. But for those who did struggle through the last couple, those are the real diehards, I guess, and the real sickos if you were able to make it through LD just rudely interrupting everyone. We're joined by that man today. LD, how are you doing?
What's up, guys? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think I figured it out, hopefully. I've been having Wi-Fi issues in my house. I got kicked out from like the best Wi-Fi spot in the home because I guess my son wanted his own room now. So
Dude, that's so weird.
I know, so messed up. So anyway, ever since I've left that room, I've had a lot of Wi-Fi issues where I currently record and do anything that requires internet. But we're trying the old Ethernet cable, boys. I dusted off the old Ethernet cable, plugged it into my router, straight into my laptop. So we're gonna try it out this way. If it doesn't work, I don't know what to tell you. I might just have to say deuces to you all. It's been real. But hopefully it does. Excuse my audio if it doesn't sound good. I can't use my mic right now because speaking of my new setup, I don't have enough ports to plug in my mic. So I figured you guys probably would rather have better connection than good audio. Hopefully that's the case. So we'll see. Hopefully this all works out. But I'm good. Glad to be here. Another exciting game that we get to talk about. So excited to see you boys as well, as always.
It sounds no worse than any like radio show guest that they have call in. So
Perfect.
I think your audio sounds fine. It's 2026 though. Internet issues in 2026 is wild behavior. Maddie, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm having a blast over here just listening to everybody make fun of LD for once.
For once.
Yeah,
I feel like
it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen very often, actually. Now I'm thinking about it.
No, because you guys tag team me, and then lately all three of us have been going against David.
Wait a second. David, write that down so you know what time to edit the podcast. That's not what we do to you, Hato. Sometimes we gang up on you and make fun of you all at once, but you really need to consult Urban Dictionary before you open your mouth again, because you always get these wrong.
A double team?
You have all these...
A two-man even?
If you would have just went clubbing in your early 20s like every other normal adult, all this would not be an issue.
I will throw back for those of you who are new listeners.
Well, you throw it back.
There was a time that Hayden said something so confidently with his full chest, and we literally had to bleep out like 10 seconds of what he said, because what he said did not mean anything close to what he was trying to say. And literally after 10 seconds of editing, when it came back, 10 seconds of bleep, all you could hear was me and LD laughing hysterically. So, Hato, I love your naive, beautiful face. It is so great to see you guys. And let's talk about what's important. David, how the heck are you?
I'm good. I'm just glad that you think we have new listeners. So that's very positive. But yeah, overall, I'm very good. I actually kind of love Sunday night soccer. It is a good thing. It was fun. I liked having all my family around and just geeking out and being like, why don't you care about this as much as me? But it was a great time. It's Monday. I'm glad to be here with you boys.
David's trying to explain to them who the 15-year-old up-and-coming monarch is, and his Peruvian family's just like, listen, guy, I don't care.
David's like, so what targeted allocation money is?
He's our DP. They don't know what that is.
Speaking of Urban Dictionary, got Maddie again there. All right, let's get into this RSL versus San Diego game. Sunday night soccer. RSL, the standalone game this season, prime time. Second time it was the standalone game. We were standalone against Vancouver, I want to say, when we opened the season. Super fun to be the only game going on. I love when it's just us, as long as we look good, going up against a very good team who, we talked about it last episode, nobody heard it, but we did talk about San Diego was going to be playing midweek in the Champions Cup, and they just got throttled. It was not pretty. They had, I thought they were pretty much a shoo-in to move on. No, it wasn't as bad as Cincinnati. Cincinnati had an even worse performance in their Champions Cup game, but really just poor from San Diego. So they do have to go to Elevation on Wednesday and then back home on Sunday. I thought we might see a little bit more rotation from them. As fun as it is to watch some of their top players, I was hoping that we might see a little bit less of them, just some second half minutes. But nope, the only major sub that they had was, I believe, their goalkeeper was backup. I don't know San Diego crazy well, but other than that, Dreyer, who is one of the best players in this league, has really taken San Diego by storm and was an MVP candidate last year and looks like he's an MVP candidate again this year. RSL, for the first time this season, rolling out back-to-back same starting 11. They again go with Cabral, PQ, Glad, and Engel going with the back three. Gozo and Sanabria as your wingbacks. Caliscan and Dylan as the pivot. Morgan, Solans, and Aiden up top once again. So a little bit mix of youth, little bit of vet presence with Morgan and now Glad and Engel and Cabral, of course. But the average age of this team, just over 24 years old. It is the youngest team in MLS this season. Putting out their starting lineup consistently. It's really hard to say who the true one is. It's really between us and New York. But I'm going to claim that title until we stop starting 18-year-olds. So that's really what the team was coming out looking as. And we got off to a really fast start. RSL goes down, and the big talking decision early was in about the 5th minute, I want to say. And it was Gozo gets pulled down in the box. There was a lot of different things to look at on this one. If you go back and just take a watch through this, Solans might have been in an offside position if he impacted the play, which was maybe what also was talked about on VAR. RSL, the ref goes to the monitor for VAR, and typically when they go to the monitor, I do feel like we are going to get a decision that actually changes the on the call field, and we were wrong here. I thought RSL was going to get a penalty. The commentators thought RSL were going to get a penalty here. And I was thinking, who takes this penalty? I was kind of excited just to because Luna is not on the field. Olatunji is not on the field. I would almost assume Morgan, but, just haven't seen who would be this team's penalty taker with those guys not on the field. But it doesn't happen. RSL doesn't get it. At this point on, I was not, and there's this asterisk. As the game goes on, my opinion changes on this penalty. As of right now, I was not that upset about the no call. I did think it would have been decently harsh. I was fine with it not being given. Maddie doesn't agree, but I was thinking, hey, if you're going to let the guys play, let them play. It's early in the game. I thought this was the tempo that he was going to set. We're going to talk about a free kick that was given that went the other way, and that changes my opinion. But as of this moment, I thought it was fine. I wasn't that ticked off about it. David has it pulled up on the screen for our listeners. Let's go to LD first, though. What were your thoughts on this non-penalty given?
Yeah, like when I was first initially looking at the play as it was going live, I thought it was, his hands that might have pulled him down, and initially that would have been what had caused the penalty. Obviously, when it got to replay, I saw that wasn't the case. So I was trying to look at where the contact was that potentially could have favored us to get that PK. It's a little tough to see, like, right off the bat, especially when you're looking at this view. But I think the best view is from the backside angle. You can see clear contact hit to the back of Gozo's leg that I think could have warranted a PK. Now, I think in this setting of what occurred, it really comes down to, because the contact, I mean, it was minimal. Like, it was contact, like there's contact there, but it was minimal contact. I still think it was enough to give the PK, but the ref, didn't call that on the field. So in my head, I thought, okay, this is probably going to go the way that the ref called it. And especially as, like, he kept taking, the longer he took the time to, like, decide what he was going to do, it felt like he was just going to stay with the call on the field. But I could see how either way, whether you're an RSL fan or a San Diego fan, like, if you're an RSL fan, you're asking for them to give this penalty. If you're a San Diego fan, you think it shouldn't be a penalty. And I think if we were swapped and we had, committed this potential foul in the box, we might have thought it was a little harsh if the PK would have been called on us. But, at first take, when I was looking at it, when I saw the contact to the back of the knee, I thought that was enough to give the penalty. So when he decided to not give the penalty, I was a little annoyed, a little frustrated. And then that only began to build as I continued to see how he began to make other calls on the field pertaining to San Diego especially. So that was kind of my first thought on the initial assessment of that potential penalty.
Maddie, let's jump to you. And I mean, right before we do, David has it paused right here. Their center back, I'm blanking on his name. Anybody have it?
Moa.
Dua.
Sorry.
Dua. He was fantastic this game. 20-year-old, not going to be in this league very long. Absolute pleasure to watch him. Him and Gozo just going at each other all game. Very, very fun player. In this still frame that David has, there are two hands on the shoulder. It does actually change my opinion watching this. And that knee that Matt LD is talking about, it is right. Like, you can see Gozo's knee is buckling because of that. So this still frame does change it. I did not see the still frame there. I don't know. That's kind of a tough penalty not to give, especially, again, considering the calls that we'll talk about later. That's the frustration. But Maddie, your takes.
So the play happens with 4 minutes and 7 seconds on the clock. J-Glad plays a very long ball over the top. These are the kind of plays that Gozo has finished twice this year. And Gozo runs onto this one. From the camera angles, you can't say definitively that Sergi Solans was offside, because the camera, the ball that J-Glad plays is so long that by the time the camera catches up, Gozo and Solans are both running at Manu Dua. Gozo goes past him. As the ball is coming in, Gozo runs onto it. Manu Dua kicks him through the back of his, with his left leg, kicks through the back of Gozo's right leg, simultaneously barging through Gozo's shoulder blades. It is 100% stone cold penalty. There's just no question. It's a penalty. The referee allows play to continue. A minute later, San Diego has taken the ball up. They're possessing in RSL's third, and VAR feels so strongly that the referee has missed it that they don't wait for the ball to go out of play or for a stoppage. They tell the ref, you got to blow the play dead, man. You really fluffed it. So the referee has to go all the way to the other side of the field to the monitor, which is behind that goal that Gozo was attacking. And he watches it for a solid 90 seconds. So it was 3 minutes from when the play happened and the play, and it wasn't called until the ref finally gets on the microphone. He doesn't say anything about Solans because that's not the problem. He says there was no foul, which is just complete crap. That's the only thing that it can be. My only reason for thinking that he didn't call it is because if you look in this frame, you can see Monadua would have been the last man. That's a dog-so it would have been a red card and a penalty. And I think the referee just didn't want to swing momentum that hard against the home crowd 5 minutes in, which is also crap. The rules are the rules from the first minute to the 90th minute. I cannot wait for pro referees to come out and tell me how they messed this call up this badly, but it is a stone cold dog-so red. That's all that it is.
Yeah, and this player was super impactful for the rest of the game. So it was one where he ended up having a terrific game, but maybe he shouldn't have been playing much past the 5th or 6th minute. Audi, go ahead.
I was going to say, I still think it's up to debate on like it being a stone cold penalty, but I do agree with you, Maddie, that I think you do factor in when you're the ref that like if I do, that is a lot of pressure on that ref at that point, being in their home stadium. Like if I give this guy the penalty, if I give RSL the penalty, then yeah, this is dogs when I have to take that player off the field. And so I definitely agree with you in that factor, in that statement that you made, that definitely probably played a factor in his decision to avoid that. But one thing I also want to say is that like if you're Sergi, I feel like you also gotta like be aware that like this ball is for Gozo. Give him a little room and a little space when he's like trying to go into the box. I was so annoyed at him at that point. Like, and don't get me wrong, Sergi ended up scoring a goal for us, and Sergi has been phenomenal for us. So I'm not even trying to be a Sergi hater. But in that instance, I would have been so annoyed if I was Gozo. I'd have been like, dude, like, square away from me a little bit. So like, worst comes to worst, I can play you the ball over. Like, yeah, go ahead and play through this, David, if you can. But like, there's potential to where, if Sergi just trails off of Gozo's shoulder a little bit and tries to stay on side, Gozo can maybe like, tap that over to Sergi to have a shot on goal. So I thought that was a little annoyed. I also feel like, when you have the ball, you're already worried about the defender on your backside trying to dispossess you. The last thing you need is your player trying to figure out if he's going to like take it from you or like cross in front of you to make a, like, just go away from Gozo so that he can take as many factors out as he needs when it comes to like trying to make a good play on this. And then he can either take that himself, he can draw the penalty, or he could potentially pass it over to you. Obviously, you can see the keeper coming out. So the keeper's kind of in no man's land right there. So there's a few things that could potentially happen. But that was my only knock on Sergi with this one. I was just kind of like, dude, what are you doing? Like, get out of the way a little bit. But yeah.
Maddie, go ahead.
Bryce Richards in the chat just said exactly what I texted to Trey in the stadium. The VAR should have the final say on calls like this, take the ref's ego out of it, and let the guys in the booth who have all the monitors, who can slow it down, who can look at it from other views, and who are not in the crucible, let them make the decision. But we have to shout out the celebrity who was on VAR. Do any of you know off the top of your head? Daniel Radford. Does that name mean anything to you? Daniel Radford was the center referee in the U.S. Open Cup game when Clint Dempsey took away his notebook and tore it up into pieces and threw it on the field. So this poor person who we should respect as an official is infamous for that. And there are sickos who will only think of that whenever they ever hear his name for the rest of their lives. It'll be 2049. I'll still be talking about it. And I'll also be talking about this game when he is twice publicly humiliated by a referee who ignores his instructions to check the VAR monitor. Sorry, Daniel Radford. You had a rough night, buddy.
I love that. LD, I really love your point, especially in this. I mean, David is killing it. If you guys aren't in the live, make sure to join it next time because we've got the video highlights up on the screen so we can actually show what we're talking about here, and it helps us actually draw more analytical. Your Solans take is spot on. If he is 5 yards to the left, I mean, if you still frame that shot with Solans 5 yards to the left and you say, hey, does this end in a goal or not? Yes, it does. Somebody is going to have something here. And yes, Bryce Richards, great shout there on the VAR. Just take it, whatever you have to do, take it out of that center guy's hand. He's the one that made the call. He's not going to change it. Like, it's going to take someone really being like, no, you really got this wrong. You're going to get fired for him to change it. So even then, they're going to be arrogance, guys. So we'll go to the next highlight, which again is an RSL highlight. It was the 17th minute. RSL passes it up to Solans in the middle. This has been one of RSL's main things, their bread and butter so far this season, is getting the ball right out to Sanabria after Solans takes a touch. Essentially, he draws the midfielders right into him. Right now, I believe that's Aiden that we have on the ball. The still frame just moved, but we have Aiden on the ball. He passes it to Solans in the middle, draws in a midfielder, lets Sanabria have quite a bit of space. And then immediately you have the RSL attack just start pushing. You have Gozo crashing the 18. You have Aiden coming behind, and Solans makes a very good run. It's a 3-on-2 in the box, and it takes a perfectly placed ball from the RSL newcomer who just got his Uruguayan call-up. Congratulations to him. This is a very important call-up. RSL does not play, and we have no United States national call-ups this week. So whatever you do, make sure March 27th, I believe it's at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Uruguay versus England. It will be on Fox Sports 1. Go and check that out. Hopefully Sanabria gets the start for Bielsa's squad. Sanabria, what a player. This is my signing of the offseason for RSL so far. Morgan, and that's saying something when I rate Morgan so highly as well, and I rate Engel so highly. Just an absolute difference maker. It's no shade to who we've had in the past at left back, but this is night and day. It's something that we just didn't have in the attack. These balls right here where David has it marked, there is nobody in the 18. There's 3 San Diego players in front of any RSL guys. Sanabria is making a very good, solid run, and he puts it where only Solans can get it, and it's a very good header back to the keeper's left. Keeper can't get to it. RSL goes up 1-0 early in this game, and it's exciting stuff. Solans gets his second goal on the season. If you asked me if the rookie would have any goals going into this season, I would have said no. It's Victor Olatunji and Ari Priol that are leading the way at the 9. Not a chance. Solans is making his mark. Our 9, I do believe it's still going to be Victor Olatunji, of course. However, Solans is really showing that he's going to be there for the long haul, and he is not going to go easy giving his spot away. He's played absolutely fantastic, makes up for not giving Gozo space earlier on. Eldy, we'll again go to you first. What do you see on this goal?
Yeah, the biggest thing I want to point out is what I love about Serge is just obviously his ability to drop into the midfield to get involved in the play as the number 9, right? But
yeah.
What is really cool about this is when he plays that off to Sanabria, he doesn't immediately attack the back line. He kind of takes his time and times that run perfectly. And we've been saying this the whole time, that this guy is a genius on how he times his runs. And it gives enough time for that back line to drop where it opens that pocket of space for him to run into as Sanabria go ahead and puts in the balls that we expect him to deliver and that he has been delivering this season so far. So just a fantastic timing of his run. And then the header that he scores this goal with is just clinical. It's so good. And so it's just cool to see how consistent he is in the way that he scores his goals. And it's all about the way that he really just times his runs to make it the most opportune as possible to eventually put it in the back of the net. So that's always fun to see with this kid.
Absolutely. Maddie, you were we haven't mentioned this yet. Maddie was in the stadium for San Diego with the press. What were your thoughts as this goal happened?
I was literally preaching the gospel of Sergi Solans, or Sergi Golans, as some people think he should be called, to the media member sitting to my immediate left, whose outlet I will get for you guys and tell you because I should know that. And at this point, she was like, wow, everything you're saying about this guy is right. Amazing run. LD's points about the delay on his run and then the back shoulder run to the defender where the defender, Dua, who had an awesome night, didn't pick him up until it was too late, and then the perfect header, but go all the way back. Sergi's the one who took possession from San Diego by running onto and punishing a pass and then forced it to Jay, and then it went all around the field. I could not be higher on Sergi Golans, and my 15-goal take is starting to look less and less like a hot take every week.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a pure effort player with all the skills to back it up. It's not just someone that's going to go out and give 120%, but it's because they have to make up for skills that they lack. He clearly has skills. He does miss a header later on in this one right in front of the goal that made me go, ooh, that was tough. Or maybe skipping forward a little bit. 24th minute, next highlight here, we get another just terrific save from Cabral. The commentators keep on getting more and more stunned. Oh, nice. We have a nice free ad here. But the commentators keep on getting more and more stunned with these Cabral saves. And I'm just like, I'm almost expecting him to save it now. It's where these opportunities are coming. And I'm just like, oh, we got someone back there. It'll be all right. And the saves that he's making, it's just absolutely fantastic. This one, I mean, really should have been 1-1 at this point. Now, in the actual highlights, which is what I'm watching just on YouTube, that's kind of what I have to help throughout the game. 27th minute is when San Diego scores their goal. They cut out the tackle in the highlights by Dylan. And tackle is a strong word for it. But Griffin Dillon supposedly takes down one of the San Diego players. It was really, really soft at this point. And it's in a dangerous area where RSL has given up bad tackles this season in this area of the field, and we get punished on it very often. Our biggest weakness so far defensively is set pieces. It's not even close. And this one, RSL unfortunately gets caught again, regardless of the poor decision to award the set piece. It just wasn't defended properly. And now VAR did take a look at this one as well for a decent moment. They didn't call the ref to the spot on this, but it was a whipped in ball from Dwyer. Puts it across the face, surprises Cabral, just kind of hits him in the chest, and the ball goes down. And I'm thinking, somebody please clear it, get it out of there. And I believe it was their center back is able just to get a toe on it. PQ is on the corner, getting the near post, and he's just not quick enough to react to that, which is unfortunate because as you watch from the back side of this goal, I'm just like, oh, that ball just kind of rolls across, and I just don't think PQ saw it on time. Otherwise, I do think he would have been able to get that one. Just a little bit slow reaction time there. However, San Diego does tie it up. They were looking, I believe, for a handball. It was really tough. The commentators were talking about whether it was a handball, offsides. They didn't really know what it was. Maddie, do you know?
Yeah, because if you watch, 97 is interfering with Rafa while the ball goes in and preventing Rafa from being able to see the ball or make a play on it. I was shocked that they let this go.
Well, and the big thing was they didn't have an angle on, like when I watch it back, I can see, yes, he's in the way, but is he level with PQ? That's the big question. If you go one small frame, David, you had it perfectly just a moment ago on when that ball is touched. Let's see. David, Maddie, go ahead.
I don't care if he's offside or not. You're not allowed to interfere with the goalie. You're not allowed to put your hands on the goalie and prevent him from playing the ball. Offsides or no, which, by the way, he was offside. But regardless, you're not allowed to touch the goalie and interfere with his ability to play the ball.
Watch this one slow. I actually disagree there. He doesn't. I mean, Cabral reaches out and touches him. He doesn't reach out and touch Cabral. If you watch this back angle, as we watch, I mean, it's kind of just slow. I think it's because we're trying to do it too.
You mean right where he's got his hand on Rafa's chest?
No, that's not on his chest. If you watch the back angle, that's Cabral reaching his hand out. Cabral does have a hand on him. I disagree there. I don't see anything excessive from him. If they're calling offsides, then sure. I don't see anything excessive from the player. This is 97, which I believe is their center back.
McVeigh.
Yeah, McVeigh.
And his hand is on Rafa's chest right there.
I don't know, man. I think that would be a pretty tough one to outrule a goal.
Well, I'll say this. I think it was goalkeeper interference. Also, it was a double deflection, which is why it looks like PQ was surprised because it actually deflected off either, I think it was Engel, and then I think it deflected off of Jay and then deflected into PQ and bounced it off of him. It was horrifically unlucky. And I think because it went off of an RSL player instead of a San Diego player, that's why they didn't care that Rafa was being interfered with, which is the dumb way the laws are interpreted now, where like the defender gets punished for trying to defend when something illegal is going on, when to me it's all fruit of the poison tree.
Big thing is RSL just can't have a lucky bounce go their way. We can't have a lucky call go our way, it seems. And that's been the kind of frustrating thing is we keep on having these things where the ball's just bouncing around. San Diego gets it to go their way, and it doesn't go the other way later on in this. David, did you have anything on this goal? You are muted.
I unmuted. Well, I raised my hand and lowered it. But I think you tweeted it out perfectly during the game, is that after that no call penalty, the ref just called like every little touch.
Everything.
And it just didn't seem consistent, right? Because that Griffin Dillon tackle, like you said, wasn't really a tackle at all. It was so light. And this goal is like a double deflection goal. It's really hard to call blame on any one of the defenders. It's not one of those other set pieces that we can say, oh, well, you should have been man marking him or stay closer to your guy. No, this was very, very lucky by San Diego. And of course, you have McVay, who I will say I am more on Hayden's side of it, but at the same time, you could see how there is some goalkeeper vision and interference as well. But overall, an unlucky goal and really, I would say poor decision by the referee for being so inconsistent, like really throughout the entire game.
Yeah, and so I want to keep this moving. Let's jump to a part that's not in the YouTube highlights, David. We get the back end of this, but we don't get the best part of this highlight here. It's the 51st minute. There's 7 minutes of added time in this. The ball is blasted up deep. RSL has no business winning this ball. Dua gets it. Is going back to the San Diego keeper, and Solans is putting incredible effort. We talk about this earlier on. RSL gets this entire next opportunity that we're about to talk about only because of the effort that he puts in on a ball that 9 times out of 10, you just let it go back because there's only a couple seconds left before halftime. You don't really care about the press, and San Diego, you're just trying to get to halftime. That's at least what we've seen from RSL. And there was a comment on Twitter that I saw that was like, this is very different from RSL in the past, where you used to be very scared of these added injury moments in, halftime or end of time. But now RSL is the one moving forward and actually moving for goal. And it was very impressive. So Solans, he gets a deflection and then he chases this ball out before it goes out of bounds, makes a gorgeous pass to Morgan. Morgan chests it down, tries to get the shot to bend. I kind of wish he took that ball inside and went to his left. Isn't able to get the greatest shot. It's blocked relatively easy, but out for a corner. So that's what gets us to this next highlight is Solans' effort, gets it, a really nice ball over to Morgan. Morgan takes a shot. It does get deflected out for a corner. So now it's the 52nd minute of 7 added. So this is the last minute for this one. We'll have to see how it plays out for RSL here. Now, the free kicks and corner kicks have not been great for delivery-wise from RSL. This one was really nice. Aiden Herzakani puts it in to a very dangerous spot of the box. It gets played with decently well. Morgan tries to go bicycle, doesn't work. Angle shoots from the left side, doesn't work, gets deflected. Morgan takes it back out. Angle, beauty of a ball to the back post with that left foot. It's just absolute beautiful. However, once again, Gozo and Solans, they just interfere with, or actually this time I think it's Aiden and Solans. They interfere with each other a bit at that touch line. The ball is going just back across. Solans takes a shot and the center back Dua clears it off the line. It was horrific. This is, like I mentioned, sometimes the ball bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't. And this is one where I was in shock of how that one doesn't go in. It's really just put it anywhere on frame and hope that you can get a goal. Solans' face tells the entire story. Justin Glad's face tells the story. Aiden's face. Everyone thought that should have been a goal. I love just watching all the expressions because it was devastating. I really, really felt bad at this moment going into the halftime. Tied. Now RSL once again was asking for another penalty shout. This one they were looking for a handball, I believe. Nothing there. It was pretty quickly checked. They did make them wait on the field though while they did check, but then they let them go. It just showed that VAR was not confident in this ref. They were not confident at all, but really unfortunate for them. LD, your thoughts on this moment and then just recap the half as a whole.
Yeah, I think, overall, it's so funny because we have so much confidence in these young guys to like go out there and get things done. And so I think it's just I think it's just like the young players on this team right now should be very proud that they have that belief from the fan base that we're expecting you guys to go in and like get another goal before half, right? To go up 2-1, even after the circumstances that happened with the goal that was scored on us. But yeah, this was a game and we're going to see plenty more of it in the second half where the ball just was having a tough time roll our way. And the fact that we end up getting the result that we do, I think shows a lot to like what this team is capable of doing, because we had a lot of stuff just not go our way. If a lot of stuff did go our way, this is potentially a blowout in San Diego. But that's not how this game is played sometimes. Sometimes the ball doesn't go your way. So I just remember in that whole little frenzy that happened before the half was over, I just for sure thought that ball was going to hit the back of the net. And when that ball left Sergi's foot and I saw it going towards the end line, like I felt like the law of physics were not working at that moment when I saw the where that ball ended up being and when it wasn't in the back of the net. Like I was like, what just happened? Like some magnetic field across the face of the goal caused that ball to go. But yeah, I mean, if you just look at it, what an incredible you'd like to say what an incredible play by Dua. Not that he meant for it to go that way, but he did everything he could to put his body there to, create obstruction from that goal going into the back of the net. And the dude was a headache for us all game. So as much as that was lucky, I mean, he put himself into positions to be able to keep the ball out of the back of the net as much as possible. So that was incredible by him. And you could see the reaction on him after that ball cleared off the line. He does a little like double fist pump to himself and like screams as they go to continue defending that ball. But yeah, I know you said that you weren't feeling good. I actually was feeling pretty good after this half was over because in my head I was like, man, the ball hasn't bounced our way. We didn't get a PK that we thought should have been a PK. The way that they scored their goal was kind of fluky. Like, and this game is 1-1 right now. Like in my head, I was like, we're doing all right as the away team. I think people forget how hard it is to win on the road in MLS. And not only win on the road, but go win on the road against a team that's playing very, very well. Now, I think we need to bring up that, obviously San Diego did have their midweek match against Toluca. And so they were playing on tired legs. They were playing at high elevation not that long before this match. So that definitely affected them. But I was, after that first half, I actually was feeling very good about how we could potentially go and still get points in this game. So a lot of things that could have gone better in the first half, but I think overall I was okay with 1-1, especially with us pushing how we did at the end of that half.
I like it. Maddie, your thoughts on the end of this half and overall?
Just what LD said. I thought that every unlucky bounce went their way and not our way. It happens. It's a cruel game. What are you going to do? I was very happy with everyone on the field. I don't think anybody looked bad. I think that I was looking forward to the second half when all these extra matches started to take a toll on San Diego, and I was hoping that we would see some early subs.
And we do see an early sub with Diego Luna coming on in the second half for Aiden Herzakani. Aiden has a short night today with Diego Luna coming back on, and right off the bat, Diego Luna is going crazy. With him, it's the 51st minute, and Diego Luna, just before this even, passing the ball really well, but this is his first big moment where he has an opportunity to strike. Morgan, beautiful flick to Luna. Luna, it has the option to either shoot or pass the ball over to Gozo. The wrong option would have been probably to shoot. However, when you see what the result was, I kind of wish Luna was a little bit more selfish here. He does make the pass over to Gozo. It's a little bit of a bouncing ball, but man, you got to find a way to get over that one and not put it out of the stadium. This ball shoots. It might be on the moon right now. It's tough when the ball leaves the camera. When you can no longer see the ball in the camera frame, that's when you know it wasn't a great shot. And it was just, kick was good. It was frustrating. Gozo puts his hands up. He knows he's frustrated with that one. Luna really couldn't have done much more. Solans does a really good job of pulling both center backs to him so Gozo could have that shot. And Luna, I think, also waited the perfect amount of time, too, where he still forced the center, or I think it was their right back, to stay on him for that ball. Everything was perfect except for the finish. This happens for RSL at times. And shout out, I don't know how I don't know his last name. I've been in a group chat with some RSL guys for years, like 5 years at this point. Maddie, you've been in there. Kurt from the group chat, and it's not Kurt Schmidt, I promise. He wouldn't want to be in our group chat. We would have too many suggestions for him that he would throw out the window because we're idiots. But Kurt, he made the point that RSL was missing these chances that were extremely frustrating to miss. But in the past, RSL would only get 1 or 2 chances and we would miss them. This time, it was like, holy cow, we are just knocking on the door, knocking over and over and over. And we talk about those games where San Diego, they're just playing a lot of minutes. They don't have a very deep team, so they're not really rotating. Deep teams rotate after Champions Cup. This team is not rotating. They're trying to get all 3 points. At least it looked like it. At the end of this game, when we do jump to that, it looked like RSL was the home team pushing for 3 points. San Diego looked tired. It looked like this game was again being played at elevation. I think this is one of the times where, playing in Salt Lake has its big advantages. And one of those is that when we do go to places like San Diego, like Orlando later in the season, this is a team that can run for a really long time at those lower elevations. So I thought that it was really unfortunate that Gozo didn't get on the ball here. And Maddie, you actually just put it in the chat. Shout out the media that you were next to.
It was a writer named Jenny Ferrer, who also covers the San Diego Wave. Their publication is SDFC Nation, and they did a really nice recap. They also did great previews. So if you have any questions about anything that's going on out in San Diego, you know that I'm a huge fan of small independent publications and enterprises. These are really good people.
San Diego is a really fun team just to follow, too. I mean, everything that they've got going on there, from the coach having his identity, where there was a lot of just MLS pundits, if you'll say, that were just like, they loved watching this game because both teams just played their style. Neither team really had to form to the other team's style, which made it very fun to watch. I actually told my buddy, he has season tickets with me, and he listens to every episode, so shout out to John. But I told him when we were looking over at the next couple games, because we both have a lot of busy work travels, and we haven't actually gone to a game that we have season tickets for. All of our tickets have gone to the redistribution so far this season. And we were saying, all right, what games do we have to just make sure we're not traveling for? And it was immediately San Diego. We got to be there for the return trip on April 18th, I believe, when this team comes to town, because they are very fun to watch. Absolutely like them. They're one of my favorite teams to watch outside of RSL. Sucks that they're going to be a pain in the ass this season. Sorry, David. But they're they're a really good team. So let's jump to the 55th minute where RSL has another opportunity. Morgan Giavogi going down, passes it to Luna. The ball a little bit fast here. Luna controls this, passes it off to Morgan. Our designated player has the opportunity of the game right here to put RSL up. It's just him and the keeper, and he shoots it right at his chest. Really unfortunate that he can't get this outside of him. In the past, we would just say, put it on frame. And now I'm starting to adjust the expectation because we're now getting them on frame. They're just getting blocked every time. Really wish we were able to get something from this. Diego Luna, I really like his effort to win this ball back and get RSL another chances. David's playing the clip for us. RSL not able to make anything out of this chance, but very frustrating not to get anything here. Now, they cut off to a highlight or something of the sort here. I believe it's right here, right? Yes. And then essentially they kind of just get back to the game. Maddie, you actually saw this in person. Nobody that watched the game on TV saw what happened. We saw Luna win the ball back. We saw Sanabria take the shot. And then it goes to this camera just shot of just looking at the players that were involved. And then all of a sudden, the worst player to have the ball has the ball in RSL's penalty box against Dwyer and Cabral. Cabral's left out to dry, chips it beautifully. It's a goal that you expect a DP to have. One team's DP doesn't put the shot away. The other team's DP makes no mistake. Maddie, your thoughts on the goal when you were in the stadium? Because that was a very quick turnaround.
With the Gozo miss and then Morgan kicking directly into the goalie's chest, I literally said the soccer gods are going to punish us for this. And immediately, because soccer gods do not like profligacy, they immediately take it the other way.
Word. Wow.
Okay. It means wastefulness.
Thank you.
When you waste your opportunities, you are punished. So RSL was called for another contact, soft, foul, whatever. The referee blew the play dead. Pablo said in the post-match that an RSL player actually tossed the ball to a San Diego player, which I didn't see, but they put it down and played it immediately, and that's how they caught all of RSL's players up front. And Engel was left on an island. Pellegrini was the player that's on the left-hand side of the screen now. Engel's on him one-on-one, but Dreyer is completely unmarked at the top of the box. Pellegrini gets the ball over to Dreyer, and Dreyer actually, because he's such a stud, cuts back across Engel's face so that Engel can't really get in front and challenge a shot. It's such a high soccer IQ play. And then chips Rafa because he just wanted to prove to everybody that in any league that doesn't have Messi, he is the MVP. I mean, incredible goal for Dreyer. You got to put your hand up and say, hey, good job, buddy.
Yeah, it was kind of tough because it was like, when is this guy going to hurt us? Because we've been holding him in check really well. And he punished us really good on this goal right here. David did get the video of at least when the free kick was taken, but yeah, we don't see the RSL players handing him the ball. I think that'll be a lesson to maybe not let your opponents start the ball a little bit faster. LD, your thoughts on this goal? It was heartbreaking, right? Because RSL was looking great. And Maddie, they do get punished when you don't take your opportunities. LD, your thoughts here?
Yeah, and I just want to rewind back a little bit, going back to Morgan's missed chance. Morgan, this was kind of a frustrating game for me in the sense of watching Morgan. Obviously, he did some great things. We're going to get to his goal contribution that he provided, which was, that was absolutely stupendous, the cross that we'll go over with from him. But he does things that just makes you like really look at him in awe. Like this is the guy. He's so like in that Gozo miss that Gozo absolutely crushes over the crossbar. He has that nasty flick to Diego to get Diego going into the box to pass that over to Gozo. So like he just does things that are like, man, like he has got it. Like this is why he's our DP. Just the creativity that he has, his composure on the ball. But sometimes I feel like he's a little too composed. And I said this, I think, on the last episode. I've said it in our chats a lot of times that because he's so chill and because he's so relaxed, it almost feels like when you expect him to play a ball or expect him to do something with the ball to like cause a threat in around the goal, he almost does it a tad bit too late. And then because of that, we either miss an opportunity or a defender is able to get to him to either, knock him off the ball or mess with whatever his choice is to do with the ball at that moment. And then when he gets opportunities like this, where it's a clear chance to be able to put the ball in the back of the net, you got to test that keeper a little bit more. A lot more, to be honest. You can't be hitting it right at that keeper's chest. Now, I know it's easier said than done, right? If a lot of us were in that same situation, we probably might not even have the opportunity to hit it into the keeper's chest.
I'm not getting in the situation.
That's why we're not professional players. But he is a DP. He gets paid as much as he does to be able to do something with that ball and put it in the back of the net. And so this was the same thing that we kind of had with Diogo last year. And I'm not trying to say that like this guy's on the track to be Diogo, because I think he's already proven that he's going to be much better of a DP than Diogo was. But Diogo did a lot of fancy, flashy stuff, things that made us be like, oh, that's really cool. But at the end of the day, you need goals and you need assists. And if you're not going to score a lot of goals, then you better be putting in a lot of damn assists on the stat sheet. So obviously he goes on to do an assist in this game, which I'm very happy about. But it's early in the season. I'm not going to put too much into Morgan not having a goal yet. But like we're past the point of him being like having the leash that we've been giving him to not have had a goal yet. Like he's had plenty of opportunities to have a goal at this point. I think this is the first point in the season where you can be critical of him not putting the ball in the back of the net. Not to say that you have to say that he's no good or that he's not going to do well for us or even be a prime player for us this season. But like we need to start seeing a little bit more productivity for him and more efficiency when it comes to goals from him. But yeah, and then for that to happen, obviously the Gozo miss that happened, then this to happen, and then to go to the immediate goal that was scored afterward, it's deflating. It's absolutely deflating. And this was the one point where I thought I was kind of like, man, is our luck running out? Like, are we starting to lose that momentum? Are we starting to lose that run? And a little bit of doubt started to creep into my head, into my heart a little bit. But obviously we'll go on to see how the boys were able to respond. And it just makes this RSL team different than RSL teams in past seasons. So I'm excited to go over that part.
So here's the thing. Morgan has been amazing all over the field, right? He's doing things that we have not seen anybody in an RSL uniform do for a long time. He has been one of the most skilled players on the ball and just better passers that I've ever seen wear this jersey. But you're right. He absolutely needs to start scoring. And when we say it scares us of Diogo, it's not because we are drawing a comparison of skill level or attitude or anything like that. We're just saying designated player who we want to score goals, right? And just missed opportunities. Now, the biggest thing is our last designated player would not have even got himself in the opportunity to actually contribute later on because he was still busy being upset about the earlier goal. You talked about his composure that he has and just how calm he is and how it's like maybe it hurts that side of him. I was just kind of thinking about this and I wonder how much it affects the 18-year-olds, the rookie, the 23-year-old who they are incredibly calm on the ball. So much so that at the end of the game, I was pissed off because we looked too calm on that final possession. But I'm just, because when you watch this team, it doesn't look like a bunch of young guys. It doesn't look like a team that with the average age of 24-year-olds. And I do wonder how much of that does come down to your highest paid player being that kind of mental locker room guy where he is just very calm and composed. Again, I don't know the ins and outs of the locker room. Maddie, you're there with training, so maybe you see this a bit more. But I'd be really curious to know how much he actually does impact and what his voice is in the locker room. Because Diego's a very calm player as well. But I do think it says something when the guy you just paid $5 million for comes in and is this calm right off the bat.
I think I'd like to put a pin in my Morgan Giavogi agenda until next week, when we won't have a match to review. We'll only have a match to preview. And I will give you my full Morgan Giavogi rant. But I will tell you this, it's positive. That should shock no one. His influence on the group is that he is sunny, friendly, happy. He's one of the guys that will like wave at me from down on the practice field when he sees me walking around up top. Like he's just very effervescent and humble, and I can't say enough good things about him. Also, I think the reason that the young players are so calm is because of Pablo and his staff. I want to especially shout out, since we're on this topic, Jamal Campbell-Reese, who was the assistant coach for the Monarchs last year. And I actually was talking to him as we were making our way to the bus after this match about things that players have told me about why they're this calm, is because when Jamal, who had a championship premier career, tells you you're good enough, that carries weight. When you've got Pablo and Ant and Jamal telling you, hey, you're good enough to do this, it means something to these guys. They believe, and they know that Pablo's not going to yank them the first time they make a mistake, which gives them the freedom to enjoy their football and show what they can actually do, which is how they got there in the first place. It's just a great vibe right now.
Well, and I think you really see that when a lot of these guys, their first game, it didn't look great. Like Griffin Dillon, his first appearance is like, oh, okay, a little bit shaky. And then his second appearance, he comes on and it's just boom, much more composed, right? And so I really think that we do see that where they are trusted to say, hey, if you're playing, you're playing. Like, do enough good things and some of the bad things we can talk about and review, right? You're never going to be perfect and there's always things to improve upon. So I'm really happy about where we are with this team. Getting back to the game really quick, we have two more main points that I really want to go over in this one. 60th minute, RSL, now the benefit of VAR, and I guess a ref not making a decision when he's called over to the monitor once again. The ball goes off Justin Glad's hand. It clearly does deflect off of his wrist and arm. The question is, what is he to do about it? The ball is really close to him, ball to hand. Is his arm in a natural position, or is his arm making his body bigger? That was the entire question. The commentators, they both agreed that this one could have been a penalty, except Twellman, he made me laugh. He says that he would have given both penalties in this one. And see, that's the kind of ref I would like. If you're going to do it both ways. And at least this time, I really thought we were going penalty. I was ready to wrap it up and say, you know what, unless Cabral comes up with another wonder save, which you can never, write that off. I thought it was going to be 3-1 and it was going to be talking about what should have been for RSL much more in a disappointing light. However, just to quickly go over this, he is called over to the monitor. He does rule that it is not a penalty, which I truly was shocked. I thought we were going penalty here. I don't know what a handball is. And again, you can explain it to me, but I'll see this exact same play in the exact same league in MLS in 2 weeks when we're back, and it'll be called a handball. So I don't know what the actual ruling is. I feel like it differs so much on the guys in the center, which is, again, why if you go to Bryce and Maddie and the other people who just wanted to be one guy, one VAR, so it's, the same across the league, could be nice to have something like that. But this one does not go against RSL. So RSL moves on and we are able to be free from this moment. So RSL then goes ahead and subs in a couple players, most notably Spearings does make his second appearance for RSL much earlier on in this one. I really liked what we saw from him. Olatunji also comes on for Solans, and Solans just beautiful game for him. I really enjoyed what we had. The first big moment was the 68th minute. Gozo puts a ball across, Morgan puts the ball across to Olatunji. Olatunji's not able to get everything on it, not able to really test out San Diego's goalie. We don't have the opportunity there. Now, for the next 20 minutes or so, RSL just is pushing opportunity after opportunity, and they are going hard at this one. It's 2-1, and you really start to think, all right, are we going to just be done? Are we not going to get our shot? We keep on getting saved by the goalie. It's not even terrific saves that he's making. They are saves that he really should be making. And then finally, Morgan, who we talked about, he gets his assist, puts it across the ball. Spearings, when you watch this goal back, it happens because Spearings puts his body on the line, throws himself across goal, puts both center backs on him. Olatunji is able to put this, I think, with his stomach into the back of the net. Really fantastic here for Olatunji to be able to get his first goal of the season. Fantastic for him. And both of our 9 scored in this game. You can't really be too upset when both of your guys score. But again, credit goes out to Spearings, who he doesn't score in this game, but he is a big reason that we get the winner again. He drags the goalie into this one, completely gets his attention. Olatunji, it is upper thigh, if you want to call it thigh there, but he does put it into the back of the net. Maddie, your thoughts on the Olatunji goal? RSL ties this one up in about the 84th minute.
Right place, right time. Morgan puts in a perfect ball, as Olatunji said post-match. If the first guy's not going to score it and the second guy's not going to score it, then there's got to be somebody in third position, and I'm happy to be that person. I always love seeing Victor score. It was great seeing him score after that horrific eye injury that he had, and I love his ripped up socks, man. He told me he was going to do a goggle celebration for us when he scored again, and he did apologize in the locker room that he forgot to do that, so we're going to forgive him and hope that he does it next time. But he told us that he's going to have to wear those goggles for the next 2 months. So he's probably going to be wearing them. Basically, we'll just call it until the World Cup break, just so you know.
Well, fool me once, shame on me, I think, is what the thing is. But if he doesn't do it again, we're going to have to start really going against him in some press conference things, Maddie. You're going to have to start publicly going after him, just like Jimmy did. He got Gomez to do a celebration. So it's Jimmy 1, Maddie 0 right now for celebrations. You got to get him.
This is also going to be my last Clint Dempsey reference for the podcast, for tonight's podcast. But this goal was eerily reminiscent of the 2014, at the time, game winner against Portugal in the World Cup. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do yourself a favor. Just type in Clint Dempsey junk goal, or Clint Dempsey, Portugal put the U.S. up 2-1. Very, very similar. But Victor is such a nice guy, I couldn't ask him about it afterwards. If it had been someone else, I would have made him comment just to watch him bless.
Love it. Audi, your thoughts on the goal?
Yeah, I'm just glad to see Olatunji put the ball in the back of the net. I'm glad he scored his goal. He got his one. I think that's going to just continue to build his confidence. I don't know, Maddie. I'm gonna still say that I'm going to question your 15 goals by Solans when my boy Olatunji's putting them in the back of the net too. So we'll see. It might be a tight race between the two of them. But I mean, like you said, Hayden, if you have both your 9 scoring in the game, what more can you ask for, right? And again, I know I said all the things I did about Morgan in this game, about things that I didn't like that I saw from him. I also said plenty of things that I did like from him. And this is one of the things that I love from him, is that he is still involved. And even though I don't think he's like playing perfect games, especially in this game like San Diego, he found a way to like really influence the game and help get the ball in the back of the net. So fantastic delivery from him. I also love that during Olatunji's celebration, he got the crowd to do the sue with him. Like, that's pretty good. Like, you're the away team. You just basically took 2 points from like the home team, and you still got some of the home fans to join in on the Ronaldo celebration with you. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that's also a testament to how big of a deal Ronaldo is. So I was just happy to see him finally put this in the back of the net. And if he's going to be scoring goals with his goggles, I think 2 more months of this isn't going to be a bad thing. So hopefully we can still see the streak go on with him.
I can see the viral Twitter moments now when Olatunji scores against Miami, and he's been doing this celebration the entire season, but he does the Ronaldo celebration, and all the Ronaldo stan accounts are going to be posting it. Oh, we need an Olatunji. If Olatunji scores, I guarantee we have thousands of reposts on everything. So if he gets a goal against Miami, I just thought about that when you were talking about Ronaldo celebration. I'm like, man, we need a goal there. But no, it was really great. And it was coming. RSL was pushing for this opportunity for a long time. RSL gets that goal. Now, San Diego, one thing to note, they do go down a man. A couple minutes later, they do get a red card. So RSL, for about 8 to 10 minutes of the rest of the game in injury time, they were up a man. However, they're not really able to put too much pressure on San Diego. San Diego actually does a really good job of making this game drawn out. They get a corner out of it later on, and they took about 2 minutes of game time just on RSL's side of the field, really doing nothing. But they did do a good job of just trying to survive. They were tired. They were winded. You could really tell. So unfortunate that RSL is not able to get any other great opportunities. They did have an Olatunji chance. Keeper did a good job of just getting that one, not putting it over the crossbar or anything like that. It looked like a slightly more than typical save, but still one that he should make. So RSL does go on the road to San Diego. Now, if you ask the crew before the game, hey, you go down in this game and you get a draw and Dreyer has a goal, are you happy with just a draw? I do think a lot of people take that result. I think knowing that we had the better opportunities, we were the better team, especially for that second half, it does hurt a little bit. But at the end of the day, this was a game where it was exciting for me because it proves that this team is what we were starting to think that they are. It's a team that they're going to create a lot of chances. They're young. They have exciting players. And even if we have a couple of injuries, we are so deep that it's going to take a lot to derail this season. And it's really going to be exciting. There's going to be players that are sold this summer, but I really think that we have the players in positions to make that be an okay thing. We're going to lose players for international windows at times. And I think we have the players for that to be okay. And I think that's starting to really be exciting as we watch RSL play better and better teams. This one with one of the best teams in the league from last season, and they're still unbeaten this season. RSL isn't able to get their fourth win for the first time since 2013, so they'll have to start that over. However, they did get 4 unbeaten, so really exciting for RSL at this point in the season. When you look at this just at all right, how's this early season going? Well, the 2 players that got assists, both newcomers, and the 2 players that scored, 2 9s. If you ask that of last season, newcomers weren't really producing and the 9s certainly weren't producing. So it's something that we have to be really excited about looking at what we have this season. LD, your final thoughts on RSL against San Diego?
Yeah, like I said, this is a hard place to go and get a result in, especially against a team as good as San Diego. Obviously, the one thing that was in our favor was that they had a midweek match against Toluca that they lost very handedly so. And they had to play at high elevation on very heavy legs coming into this match. So I think that was in our favor. However, I don't think that takes away anything from what we were able to do as a team on Sunday night. So very happy to see what the guys did. I know it sometimes feel like we should have had the 3 points going home. But remember that, it was the 83rd minute where we were down 2-1. This looked like it could have potentially been a loss. And so the fact that we were able to claw back and get another goal, I think we should be pretty content with leaving there with 1 point. Now, we're now 4 games. We're not defeated. I guess I can't think of the word right now for that, but we haven't lost in 4 games. Okay. And so I think that's a good run to be on, especially going into the break where we can get, the guys who are still recovering from their injuries or starting to get minutes under their belts to get them fully fit and ready to go going into that next game that we have. And so really happy to see that. One thing that I wanted to highlight in Pablo's press conference that I heard was he had talked about, I think the question that was posed to him was your thought, it was essentially asking him, like, were you planning on to keep pushing and getting that goal, or like, were you wanting to kind of get out of there with the result? And he said something really interesting that I think is very important that I think we should know and the fan base should know. He said that he talked to one of the owners for RSL, whatever owner that was. He didn't specify, but he said he was talking to an owner, and the owner said that basically he was giving the reasons of why we don't just settle for draws. We push for wins. We push to get the full results that we can. And I think that's such a huge mentality, not only for like from a game aspect, right? Going to do everything you can to get those 3 points. And if that opportunity is there, don't just, be scared to lose the points that you currently have. Try to go get more. But I think it shows a lot for what this ownership's mentality is when it comes to helping construct a roster, helping build a culture here, helping build a team that like the fans can be proud of. Like that made me think that like they're not just talking about a game, like they're trying to go for everything, right? Like they want to win cups, like they want to make this team established here in the state more so than it is already. So I was really happy to hear that comment because it made me think very big picture. Like we're not just here to win games, we're not just here to win 3 points, but these owners have a really good winning mentality. And so I think that's something important to know.
I love that. LD, go ahead and give your 3 stars of the game.
I'm going to go Olatunji, Solans. I didn't think about my third one. Sorry, ahead of time. Solans, And
you can do 2 to 1 guy, by the way.
I know, but I don't want to give it to one guy. You know what? I love Cabral so much. I still think he saved us in this game, like big time. So I'm gonna say Cabral could have the other one.
I like it. Alrighty. And I really agree with your comments on just the excitement from ownership. We talked a little bit at the beginning of the season how they decided to put pressure on themselves by making comments about how this was going to be one of the best seasons of all time for RSL. We were going to do things that the state of Utah has never seen. That puts a lot of pressure when you come out and you make a statement like that, unprovoked, I might add. That statement, it was not asked for by fans. We were not having, a Galaxy type fan thing where we just don't go to the games. This was coming unprovoked, and they made a promise. So far, they're keeping that promise. Obviously, we have to go and win more games, get trophies, everything like that. And if there's anyone out here thinking, man, these guys are really positive, I'm usually not a positive guy. I think I'm usually pretty negative, but there's just not much to be upset about right now. I mean, you can nitpick all you want, but this team is doing what they're being asked to, and it's showing that if you give Pablo the guys, he's going to put the effort in. Jimmy gives his 3 stars to Sergi, Victor, and Pablo. I'm going to follow that exact. I'm going Sergi, Victor. Actually, I'll switch out Victor for Sanabria. And then I'm giving it to Pablo as well. And when I say Pablo, obviously you mean coaching staff there. But Pablo, this team is just, it's not X-Dog anymore without having the talent to back it up. It's X-Dog, except they actually have, you can see the identity outside of that. They are going to work harder than you, but they're also going to be faster than you the entire game. And if you're not fast enough, you're getting subbed out for other legs because it has it on the bench. Gozo, Solans, all of these guys, when they're going 90, they're going hard. Solans didn't go 90, but he was going hard this entire game. When a lot of guys, they would have said, I'm a little bit too tired. Morgan, our designated player, is pushing hard until the very end when he's going 90. So it's a lot of things where each player is pushing them to be better. And I don't know that there's any one player that has their spot written in gold. I think that there's players that can get taken. I mean, Cabral, you can probably give that one, and Justin Glad. Other than that, it's going to be pretty hard to find a player where it's like, all right, well, if you take me out, who else are you going to put in? And that's something that we're seeing a lot of. So those are my 3 stars. It really goes with Jimmy. Pablo is just, he's working magic right now. And it's not just coming out of thin air. The players are showing that they can do it. But the coaches are getting these players into positions. And it goes back to, we've always heard Pablo say that you have to be in these opportunities. You have to make the runs to the box. You have to do this and this and this. And the guys were never really doing that in the past. And Pablo was saying that in press conferences because the guys weren't doing that. And that's why we scored that goal. We have the guys crashing the boxes. We had 3 guys with an opportunity at the ball. And Stein, he's the one that takes up the goalie. Justin Glad is making a run just slightly too far behind. And then Victor's the one that puts it in the back of the net. In the past, you don't have 3 guys making that run. So it's not just about talent, but it's about buying into that coaching. And that's something that I've really loved seeing. So 3 stars out there. Maddie, we'll go you, and then we'll go David to wrap it up.
For me, it's Sergi Solans, as much for the goal as for his two-way play and for everything he does for all the players around him. Another player who impressed me both sides of the ball was Juan Manuel Sanabria. That's a no-brainer for me. And then the third one, I was going to give it to Kurt Schmidt for an amazing draft class, but I think it would probably just irritate him to be singled out. So I'm going with Noel Kaliskin instead, who was straight up legit both sides of the ball last night. Set up, I believe it was the second goal, recycling it from Morgan's. Another great match from Noel.
And drew the red card. The second yellow red card there as well. So
yes, heroically got elbowed in the face. Good job, buddy.
He put his face on the line. Absolutely great player. He's really just been fantastic this season. Very much echo that. David, you're 3.
Yeah, real quick. Really, we talked about it. Morgan, he did have that miss, but he redeemed himself. And Sergi, he is a super draft pick. So obviously I shouldn't put him on here. If you've listened to past episodes, I guess I'm a super draft hater. But honestly, what I love about Sergi too is we've had some talented super draft picks in the past, like Bell, even Berea, and I would even say Berton Jackson. But this guy's actually putting up numbers, and that means you're going to stick around. So no matter how talented or how good they think that you are in training. He's actually putting up numbers, and I'm happy about that. And I did one different than pretty much everybody else, but I put Philip Quinton. Philip Quinton, he is stability, and he is showing that if I see Philip Quinton in the lineup, I am not going to put not going to be as scared as I was, I would say, before this season started. So really, I really like what he's doing and working his way back. And obviously, I want to see Yedlin come back healthy, which he is. I guess he was questionable, but Philip Quinton had a really good game, solid performance.
Well, and to your point, if you're not thinking about Philip Quinton, that's probably a good thing, right? Because he's just not being attacked as much. And in this game, it wasn't on the highlights, but he had a crucial breakup where he just outpaced one of San Diego's players, where they could have had a 2-on-1. It really was. If PQ doesn't get this, we're in danger. And that was a huge breakup. Again, it didn't make the highlights, but I really like that. He did really well, and that side has been really good.
And to go to that point, like, as much as San Diego fans would probably be like, Duo was amazing, you called his name way too much throughout that match. It was like, okay, I like that my center back did amazing things, but why is it always getting to him? Why is he having to clear off the line? And so I do like that Quinton, we didn't really even talk about, but just had a silent, strong performance.
Yeah. And we targeted him. And that second goal, he missed the ball. He got Stein instead. He tried to clear that. He got a player instead of the ball. And so it really was where PQ made a lot of good plays in this game. Really can't be upset with that performance. I really like that shout out. He did have a spot in the 6 right before the half where he really could have got a goal in this one and cemented his spot as a star of the game, but doesn't get it. RSL does get a draw again. When you go back to the season, I think this was predicted when we just looked at our first 10. We're halfway through that first 10 where you can kind of gauge what the season might be. I'm pretty sure we all picked San Diego as a pretty likely loss. It's just a team that's really tough. They're a really solid team, the best team in the West from last season, and they're really looking like they could be that again, especially if they can figure out a way to open up that DP spot that Chucky is taking up right now. And actually add a player to complement the great attack that they have, perhaps a 9, which one of the most baffling moves that they decided to move off of their 9 that they had last season. Former RSL man Milan Yolowski, who is just killing it with Philadelphia still. David, I know, is just heartbroken about that. He was asking me about it before San Diego even signed him. And then San Diego signed him, and then they traded him. So David, I know, watches very intently on that player because he was heartbroken when that happened, thinking that it could have had a reunion. But that's all we have for you on this episode. We're going to give you a recap. Oh, sorry. Addy, we do have a Monarchs moment for you. I forget things. We've talked for an hour 15. I forget things.
Well, goodness sakes, how could you forget that the appetizer for the meal that RSL provided was your Real Monarchs hosting Vancouver Whitecaps 2. They went up 3-0 in the 70th minute. A brace from Lineker Rodriguez, who, if we're keeping track, was a draft pick from last year, who unfortunately had incredible visa issues and didn't actually see the field until late last season. But man, he is a very special player who I keep banging the drum about. I feel like he's going to be playing for RSL very soon. Marcos Zambrano from Ecuador, who also came in late last season, scored the 3rd goal. Then they gave up a dodgy penalty kick to make it 3-1. And then in injury time, Vancouver scored another goal to make it 3-2, but never troubled Max Kirkfleet after that. A lot of us actually on the comms team were watching that match on my laptop in the locker room, waiting until we could go up to the press box. So it was great to see Mark Lowry and his staff lead their team, continue their unbeaten start to the season. They've got 2 wins in regulation and 2 wins in penalty shootout. So continue to watch the Monarchs or you're missing out.
Love it. Thank you so much, Maddie. And make sure to tune in to International Week or International Call-Ups coming up this week. The big one, again, it's Sanabria. He's been called up to Uruguay. This is a guy that really should be in the World Cup outside of Diego Luna. He's probably the only other one that will be pushing for RSL in the World Cup. They're taking on England March 21:45 p.m. Really hoping that we get a start. He didn't start against United States in their 5-1 loss last time, but he did start against Mexico. So he's kind of off and on for the Bielsa squad. Bielsa has publicly said that he doesn't rate MLS very highly, but hopefully we can get him to be on that squad because unfortunately for Bielsa, his best players are in MLS. Just how it is. A lot of those Uruguayans, they've got one in Austin that's really, really good. That's just off to a slow start so far. But we'll have to see how that one goes. It's kind of fun being able to root against England. I love doing that. So they're playing in Wembley. So it's going to be just a fun atmosphere for Sanabria. Really hoping he can get those minutes and that experience for him, especially since his goal is to go to Europe. RSL does have Kobe Henry, who is also going to Trinidad, I believe, in international window and I'm just looking up, and am I missing anyone? Luca Moisa and Giovia have been called into the U18 roster. And then is there anyone else? Maddie, you'll know if I'm missing anyone.
Lincoln Ream just got called today as well to the U17.
Okay. Yep. And then Zambrano, no. Riquelme did get called up for Chile. Anyone else? Am I missing anyone? We have so many youth guys getting called up because our youth pipeline is insane.
Did you say Aiden?
Yeah, Herzakani got called up.
But
say it again. He deserves it.
Just got removed from that call up today as he was reported injured. So I don't know if that happened in the San Diego match, but he just got replaced by another guy in Europe. Whatever.
Interesting. Well, hopefully that injury is not too serious so he can be back for us. RSL does take on Sporting Kansas City for the next game. We'll be back to you next week to preview that game, talk about the international. What's up, Maddie?
LD wants to tell us something, and I'm dying to hear what it is.
LD, thank you so much for jumping into 2026. We're happy that you're here, and we're excited to be able to end this episode on a good one. So thank you all so much for listening to this episode. Make sure to rate and review as long as it's positive. Otherwise, you can just slide into the DMs if you want to say something negative. I much more appreciate that. But anything that we can do to make this podcast better for your ears, let us know. Always looking for improvement. Thank you to everyone. Have a great day and go RSL.